If you're about to launch a new WordPress site, or you already have one, there's one thing you can't afford to ignore: security. WordPress is a secure platform, but here's the uncomfortable truth. Since it powers nearly half the web, it's very attractive to hackers. A single successful attack can ruin your reputation, tank your search rankings, and cost you some serious cash. That's the bad news. The good news? You don't need to be a cybersecurity pro to protect your site. In this video, I'll walk through a simple, practical WordPress security checklist you can start using today. You'll learn how to harden your login so bots and brute force attacks hit a wall, how to shut down the most common vulnerabilities before hackers find them, which tools to use for firewalls, malware scanning, backups, and monitoring, and how a powerful performance plugin like WP Rocket fits into a safer, leaner setup. Let's start at the front door, your login page. Your login page is often the first stop for hackers, so we're going to do three things: strengthen your credentials, add a layer of protection, and make brute force attacks much harder to complete. Step 1 is to strengthen your credentials. If your username is easy to guess and your password looks like password123, that's basically an open invitation. Start by using strong usernames. Skip admin, test, or info. And of course, require strong passwords that mix uppercase and lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols. Next, enable CAPTCHA and two-factor authentication, or 2FA. CAPTCHA helps filter out bots by forcing them to pass a quick challenge. 2FA adds a second step, like a code sent to your email, phone, or an app such as Google Authenticator. So even if someone guesses your password, they still can't log in. You can use tools like Google CAPTCHA to add CAPTCHA protection to your login forms, and really simple SSL, which also includes support for two-step login and 2FA with one-time passwords. The final step to boost the security of your login page is to fight off brute force attacks. By default, every WordPress site has a login page at yoursite/wplogin.php. Hackers know this, and they hammer that URL with automated login attempts. So changing it to something unique dramatically reduces this risk. You can use WPS hide login to change the login URL, and WP limit login attempts to block repeated failed attempts. These are low-effort changes that make it much harder for someone to break in through the front door. Once your login is secure, the next big job is patching vulnerabilities in your plugins, themes, and WordPress core. Hackers love outdated software. Even one abandoned plugin can give them exactly what they need to get in. So, step 1, keep WordPress core, themes, and plugins updated. Make it a habit to log in and check for updates regularly, and pay special attention to plugins. These are often the weakest links. To minimize the time you're exposed to known vulnerabilities, you can also enable auto updates where it makes sense. Turn on automatic updates for minor WordPress core releases and trusted plugins. And if your host supports it, let them handle core updates for you. If you manage multiple sites or just want a clearer view of what needs attention, tools like WP Umbrella can help you monitor updates, performance, and maintenance from a single dashboard. Next, delete what you don't use. If a plugin is outdated, abandoned, or you're simply not using it anymore, remove it. Be intentional about how many plugins and which ones you use. Choose options that have strong reviews and a good track record of frequent updates. A lean setup is better for both performance and security. A single, well-built plugin that replaces 3 or 4 smaller ones reduces your attack surface and keeps your database cleaner. That's where WP Rocket comes in. Instead of relying on multiple performance plugins for caching, compression, file optimization, and database cleanup, WP Rocket gives you a powerful all-in-one performance toolkit. With WP Rocket, you can implement 80% of performance best practices with one install. Turn on powerful caching automatically, apply key file optimizations without touching code, and add lazy loading and other best practices with just a few clicks. WP Rocket helps your site feel faster to visitors and reduce the load on your server. But it's not a replacement for good hosting. If your server is slow or overloaded, no plugin can fully compensate for that. What WP Rocket does do is keep your performance stack lean so you get a faster, simpler site with fewer overlapping plugins, which is better for both performance and security. Now, let's add another important security layer: firewalls and malware scanners. Think of a firewall as a security guard standing in front of your site. It filters traffic, blocks malicious IPs, and stops bad requests before they can even hit your WordPress site. Malware scanners act like security cameras inside of your site. They look for suspicious files, injected code, and backdoors that hackers might install to regain access later. The key is to configure alerts so you're notified quickly if something looks wrong. Beyond plugins and firewalls, there are a few configuration tweaks that can make it much harder for attackers to abuse your site. One big one: disable file editing in the WordPress dashboard. By default, WordPress lets admins edit theme and plugin files right from the dashboard. Convenient? Yes. Safe? Not really. If someone ever gets into your admin area, that editor gives them full access to your code. You can shut this down by adding a small snippet. I'll include it in the description. If you're not comfortable editing code directly, you can use a plugin like WP Code. Next, make sure your file permissions are set correctly. File permissions control who can read, write, and execute files on your server. If everything is too permissive, it's easier for attackers or misconfigured scripts to make changes they shouldn't. You can set permissions via FTP or your hosting file manager. But if that sounds intimidating, there's help. The all-in-one WP Security plugin can scan your current permissions and apply recommended settings to key WordPress directories and files, including wp-config.php. These small, hardening steps don't change how WordPress works day to day, but they do make it significantly harder for attackers to exploit your site if they find a way in. So far, we focused on stopping people from breaking into your site. Now, let's stop anyone from snooping on visitor data in transit. This is where HTTPS and SSL save the day. When your site uses HTTPS, the connection between your visitor's browser and your server is encrypted. That means that login credentials, personal information, and payment details can't be easily read by someone trying to intercept the traffic. Without SSL, attackers can use man-in-the-middle techniques on insecure networks, like public Wi-Fi, to grab data as it travels. These days, an SSL certificate is really just the baseline for any professional site, and many browsers will display prominent warnings on sites that don't have one. Most modern hosts make it easy to enable a free SSL certificate. Once it's active, you can use a plugin like Really Simple SSL to force HTTPS across your site and clean up any mixed content issues. Even with great security, you should always prepare for the worst. If things go wrong, a hack, a bad plugin update, or a server issue, the difference between a minor scare and a disaster often comes down to one thing: backups. You want automatic backups running consistently. How often? Daily backups are common, but higher traffic or mission-critical sites might want even more frequent backups. Just as important, store backups off-site rather than on the same server that stores your files and database. This way, if your hosting environment is compromised, your backups are still safe. Then, don't forget to test your backups. A backup you've never tried restoring is a backup you can't fully trust. Run a test restore on a staging environment once in a while so you know that the process works before you urgently need it. You can often rely on your hosting provider's backup system, but you can also add a plugin to automate backups and keep them in secure locations like a cloud storage provider. The last piece of the checklist is about visibility. Even with all of these protections in place, you still want to know what's happening behind the scenes. First, set up activity logs. Activity logs record who did what and when on your site. Logins, plugin changes, file edits, and more. If something looks off, you can review the log to see which user or action triggered the issue. A plugin like WP Security Audit Log can track this activity in real time. Second, schedule regular security audits and enable real-time monitoring. Audits help you find weak spots before the attackers. Real-time monitoring helps you react quickly if something slips through. There are several tools that can help here. WordFence for a firewall, malware scanning, and alerts. Solid Security, which offers protection against brute force attacks and vulnerabilities. Security Site Check, a free online scanner for malware and known threats. And Pen Test Tools, which offers more advanced penetration test style checks. You don't need every tool on that list, but you do want a combination that gives you alerts if files or code change unexpectedly, visibility into login attempts and suspicious behavior, and regular scans for known vulnerabilities and malware. Let's run through a quick recap you can refer back to later. Use strong usernames and passwords, enable CAPTCHA and 2FA on your login page, change the default login URL and limit login attempts, keep WordPress core, themes, and plugins updated, remove outdated or unused plugins, use fewer, higher quality plugins and keep your database lean, enable SSL and force HTTPS, install a firewall and run malware scans, harden WordPress with proper file permissions and disabled file editing, set up automated off-site backups and test restores, log activity and monitor for suspicious behavior, and use WP Rocket to keep your site fast and your performance stack lean. If you work through that entire list, you're already ahead of most WordPress sites. But if you want your site to outperform in other areas too, like sales, leads, or new subscribers, you don't just need it to be safe, you need it to be fast. Thankfully, you don't need an entire checklist for this. You can take care of most performance best practices with a single, well-supported plugin. WP Rocket. WP Rocket replaces a stack of plugins for a leaner, faster, and safer site. To get started today, see the link in the description below. Want to keep learning about WordPress? Check out our entire library of easy-to-follow tutorials and breakdowns.